left side, the red Protoss player for Alpha X. He is ZOUN. Bottom right, blue, Zerg. Dragon Phoenix Gamer Man, Rogue. Dragon Phoenix Gamer Man. It's like some sort of a failed superhero. The Dragon Phoenix Gamer Man. Alright, oh, imagination. Where do you take me sometimes? Alright, being able to block off that natural base here quite nicely, but looks like Rogue already kind of preparing for that eventuality. That occasional event that does happen, of course. Quite often in the PvZ matchup. Yes, it's gas going for the pool now. Zone here, kind of going for. What is he going for? Cybercore. There you go. Nothing else yet. I'm hesitant to call this an easy battle for either of the players, but I'm a little bit vigilant for how Rogue is going to try and deal with ZOUN here. I really hope he just kind of misses something. Sounds a player that will be able to get himself in a position, right, where it is possible for him to hide things. He's very good with his micro. Like, his micro is really good. I would put it as one of the best micros from any Protoss right now. But will that be enough to, you know? Will that be enough? Maybe that and the attack coming in a little bit different, a little bit later or earlier, or just with a different unit composition than Rogue expects, and that could be the way forwards here. ZOUN, every single Alpha X member now, hoping that he will be able to win 2 games in a row here. That's a tough thing to ask. Maybe he's a player that will just grow stronger with that type of responsibility or that type of thing going through his mind. Some players do. Some players buckle. ZOUN, personally, I've not seen him perform that often in team leagues outside of this one. So wonder what type of influences he feels when he's in this situation. Right, looks like Rogue is staying on top of his drone numbers quite nicely. A couple of adepts will be attempting a bit of a run into the main here. The amount of queens might make this a suicide journey, but are coming in. Great dodge there with the drone, making a spore crawler. Dodging the first projectile, so yeah, ZOUN not getting a single drone kill so far, but there is the Oracle now. Coming in and taking out 4 quite quickly. Coming in on the other base right now, we'll be able to take out 1 more before he's kind of scared off from that area because of the queen and the spore crawler. 5 workers being picked off, nothing too much trouble there for Rogue, I would say. Nothing that he's not comfortable with losing. And still feel fine in this situation. course, it's always better to lose none, but you know what, 5, I'd say that is within the acceptable margins. Losing another one right now. Still fine, right? This is happening a lot later on as well, so it's less important to lose one extra. But the worker count is pretty similar for the time being. We do have 12 drones now finishing up, though. Of course, that is going to bump it into Rogue's favor. And it looks like he pretty comfortably got himself to this point, right? To drone up right now. He's got a good amount of queens to keep him safe against the Void Rays. He's got a few Zerglings in case there are some sort of like adepts coming in trying to get a flank somewhere. So we'll be able to deal with those quite nicely as well. And yeah, I like the way Rogue is playing. He's playing it very well. And the beat of his drum does seem to kind of outpace ZOUN at this moment in time. ZOUN could still try to mix up the rhythm. Maybe find Rogue when he's off beat, but not entirely sure. Already going for the air weapons here as well. Wants to keep this base safe, but the Zerglings, they do quite a bit of damage when there's so many of them. Especially against the Nexus that has so little HP. Depths and Sentry here, maybe picked off. Shield Battery overcharge. Does get forced out. Might be a moment for Rogue to consider whether or not he wants to make a push happen afterwards. I don't think he's really in a position to do so. Thought his queens, I guess they're just kind of moving out right now to spread more creep. He's waiting for that spire to finish up. He's getting the roach speed as well in case there is still something coming in for him. He will have those roaches ready to go if he does need them. But for now, he's just going to go into a massive flock of Mutalisks. 16 in total. With the fleet beacon finished up, +1 air weapons. We only have Void Rays out and about on the map right now. Even having a nice, how's it called? The, we don't see it enough. The infestation. Is it just called infesting the Void Ray building Stargate right there? Gonna delay it quite a bit. Mutalisk do get spotted by that observer. Is it spotted in time? I think it is. We see some cancellation going on. And some Phoenix on the production tab. Ooh, big catch on a disruptor right there. That is in between the bases. Trying to waypoint himself towards a potential army somewhere. The Void Rays trying to stay on top of this Mutalisk clump. But they need the help of shield batteries in order to take this fight. Shield batteries are not on every location that's available to ZOUN here. Mutalisk open up the front door so the Zerglings do manage to gain entry. And sends in a couple more. Void Rays getting a bit battered by the Mutalisk, but the Phoenix is slowly raising in their numbers, trying to minimize the amount the Mutalisk can do for now. With the Void Rays kind of taking some damage, taking some losses. We saw, what, 14, 16 Corruptors suddenly on the production tab, finishing up right now. Even more of them being produced. Okay, it's 11 plus, how many were still in the production? 4 of them, so 5, 6, 7 actually. Wow, really going up there. 18 Corruptors being invested into, with the +1 air weapons also coming in for Rogue. So a full-on air versus air battle here could potentially occur. That is quite interesting. ZOUN still on the lowest supply overall, but the Void Ray should do well against the Corruptors. The Phoenix should do well against the Mutalisk, but I mean, if you take bad fights, then you take bad fights. It looks like Rogue here staying on top of things a little bit more so. Those Queens helping out a ton as well with all of those transfusions. We'll be able to clean up the Void Ray numbers very quickly, and now the Corruptors go to town on the Phoenix as well. There's no carriers, nothing here just quite yet, and ZOUN Looks like he is, well, losing this first game here in quite a manner now on top of the production of the Stargate facilities. Stalkers trying to be produced, trying to maintain some sense of order, but there's only 3 of them. Phoenixes do manage to escape. The Nexus in the main base, corrosive bile down, single carrier trying to make his way to safety, but there is no safety. ZOUN knows he needs to win this game in order for his team to find some hope, some chance to win the match overall. He's not allowed to lose this. But it looks like fate has taken it out of his hands right now. Or maybe perhaps Rogue has more so. There's still some disruptor shot potential here, as we have a Roach army transition from Rogue, but well, there you go. The disruptor goes down quite quickly. Phoenix is busy lifting up the Ravagers. Will not be able to fight up against any of those corruptor numbers there. And yeah, it's a tough loss to swallow here for ZOUN. Still trying his utmost hardest, truly showing that he wants to make this happen for his team. Wants to keep the dream alive. But this is a horrendous part of StarCraft 2 for him. Very difficult position. It's going to lose another disruptor right there. And he needs those. He needs those desperately to hold on in this situation. He needs that exponential kind of way to ensure valuable trades going into his favor. Still doing okay with the Blink Stalkers and static defenses here, but man, the Corruptors, they are still going unanswered. Stalkers busy trying to hold off the Roaches and the Ravagers. And Rogue, he is going up towards Lurkers. Going up towards the next tech tier that, I mean, ZOUN, if he had an Air Force, maybe had an answer to. Maybe he could make some Tempest as well, mix that up in there, but I mean, he just doesn't have anything right now. Pushing on forward, Rogue with the Queens this time around. Transfuse once again coming in and helping the Zerg out quite nicely. Might still just barely be a hold here for ZOUN, but consider the amount of damage that he's taking every single time. Consider the just overall supply here not changing whatsoever for Rogue, just consistently at the 200 mark. Coming in wave after wave after wave with just the already established greater economy here that he did manage to secure. And GG is called. Bottom right side, the red Protoss player fighting for Alpha X. ZOUN. Top left side, a blue Zerg lies waiting. A Dragon Phoenix gamer in his lair. He is Rogue. And there we are. We have everything updated on that production, working itself out again once more. Lovely, lovely. They are picking up on things, right? Things are slowly improving, which is one of these things which makes me think, right, that they may have not been doing this all too long, because if you have a steady case of improvements, then overall you would assume that would carry on through. But then again, you look at my streams and my overall things, and you're like, well, maybe no, it's not always the case. Anyway, something interesting going on right now. Rogue already preemptively going for that third base, not even attempting to go for the natural here. There was no pro blocking it, but it looks like ZOUN's still going to go for the cannon rush here onto the third base. Now, I've often wondered why Protoss never tried to do a cannon rush onto this location when a Zerg is trying to build here, and one of the reasons why I kind of thought of what I think is reasonable is that you don't hold off any of the main door entrance, right? You're not holding in any links, you're not holding in the roaches. And it's very easy for a drone to just run on by and get a different nexus elsewhere. Or a hatchery. Single cannon here should be enough to kill the hatchery overall, as there's no reinforcements really coming along to help that out. And yeah, the hatchery does just get cancelled. There you have it, another hatchery coming up. ZOUN, is he going to try one more time here with more pylons and more cannons? It looks like a no. Zergling should already be in production, of course, and yeah. Becomes very difficult to make this work against the Zerglings. Just a lot more damage output rather than those drones. Maybe another cannon rush over here wouldn't be too bad though. I would be down, but it looks like ZOUN does not want any part of that. We'll conserve his minerals for now and try to go for his own expansion here. Natural base being taken. Probably gonna see another Stargate again as well, making its way onto the fields, and there it is. Stargates might get scouted here by that Overlord. I don't think it's moving. Yeah, it's moving backwards, but most likely we'll just get a Void Ray right now to take it down. Oh no, he's making a Stalker. Might go for the Oracle first. Yeah, all right. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Wants to keep it sneaky. Wants to keep it hidden. The Overlord actually moving backwards as well, so yeah, ZOUN really committed to holding this bit of a secret for now. Stalker should be able to keep out any Overlords from the top area as well, even though there's no Overlords anywhere, so I think this is a good place for ZOUN to be. Needs to be wary of those Zerglings, but looks like so far it's not even giving them an inch. Twilight Council follow up behind this after the Oracle. Might be a bit of a mind game after committing so heavily onto the Stargates this time around. Might want to do a follow up with the Adept Glaive. We see that sometimes, right? I think ZOUN is a big fan of the Adepts as well. A lot of micro potential, and he makes them work for him quite nicely usually. So let's see if that is going to be the case. There's more Adepts on the production tab. Could, of course, still be Dark Shrine coming in here as well, but let's see. I highly doubt he's just going to go for, like, Blink or Charge. I mean, there are Protoss that do that. I just don't... I don't think ZOUN would be the player to make that decision. Huh. Still not doing anything with the Twilight. Okay, no, he's going to go for the Blink. Alright. Fair enough. So the Blink play is a way to try and get rid of the, I believe it's the 4th or the 3rd base. Well, whichever is standing in your way, really. You're supposed to go out there and put on a lot of pressure. Take it out. Get yourself out of there. Leia coming up. I believe it's the 4th base that you want to try and take out. Ooh, getting 5 workers right there. That's pretty good. Actually, more than 10 workers ahead right there for ZOUN for a while. Pretty sharp play. Making a good wall there also for his own 3rd base, and things are looking pretty good. He might be able to start pushing pretty soon. If this push does well, then that is going to be quite a debacle for Rogue, I would imagine. Just the worker count not really working in his favor. Trying to do some aggressive play here with the Ravager Rogue army. He does have a very strong army supply here. Will it be enough? There's a lot of sentry power available. With the Ravagers, of course, you will be able to all those force fields away from you as well. Quite nicely. The sentry's already out of energy here. That is quite a dangerous situation. Okay, a lot of gateways were finished up though, so the warping is good. It's very strong. And ZOUN will be able to hold on for now. Good stuff there for ZOUN. +1 attack as well for the ground forces completed. Going for the +2 right here. And an infestation pit coming up for Rogue. Looking to make a move into the hive tech, I would imagine. No Hydra Den just quite yet, so not sure if he's going for the Vipers or if he's going for something else entirely here. To be fair, Vipers is a great tool to just have added into your arsenal. Or even Infestus, right? Against Blink Stalkers. Not bad. Definitely not bad. Here's that Blink Stalker push we were talking about. Of course, a little bit delayed because of the initial aggression from Rogue, but ZOUN still coming forward. While the Roach is being forced out, it's not that much available just yet for Rogue here. Did make an investment into the infestation pit, but I think that is kind of where he left things. Oracle goes down, the best way to scout now out of the sky. He may still have a second one though. And he still has the Stargate, so he can still remake it, but... Yeah, ZOUN here, moving back across the map. Not really finding a base to take out. But still with a very strong Stalker army here. Swarm Host. Swarm Host coming out of Rogue. Interesting. Versus the Disruptor, Blink Stalker army. I mean, Swarm Host could always work against Protoss, but we already have quite a mobile force here for ZOUN. I suppose it's not as mobile as a Void Ray force or something like that, so in that sense, I think it could work. Already going for the multi-pronged harassment here, taking out the 4th base. I think that was a cancel. I think I just saw the tiniest hint of some fonts saying there were minerals being replenished. A lot of Zerglings. My dear lord, that's a lot of Zerglings. Standard Thermal Lance has more Disruptors and now Colossi as well on the production tab. Colossi really good against those Swarm Hosts, so... That's the first volley. Let's see how ZOUN will be able to deal with it. Being distracted by Zerglings at the top, so these... oh boy, yeah, that might be a dead Nexus. Shield battery overcharge! Doesn't manage to pull it off. I think a shield battery overcharge would have saved the Nexus there, but that is abysmal. ZOUN already losing his 3rd base here due to the first volley of Swarm Host. That is a scary thing overall. Now his army's still growing, right? His army's still very strong overall as well. Has a potential for a big knockout blow here. He may not be able to last a long fight anymore, but he might still be able to get in a good, clean blow that will be able to take out his opponents here. Okay. Missed opportunity there, perhaps from Rogue being distracted by the other attack coming in. Ooh, Biles and Disruptor shots being shot at the same time. And sometimes these Disruptors of ZOUN, they do move a little bit too far forwards, and they are easily picked away by those Roaches and the Ravagers, just quickly turning around and taking them out. Another volley of those Locusts should be coming in right here. We don't have a Observer to take out the Creep though. But then again, I guess that's speeding up the movement of the Protoss army to take out the Swarm Host. Oh my god, again 2 Disruptors here just blindly moving forward and being picked off. definitely seems to be something that ZOUN could work on. It's not a mistake we see from every single Protoss. Good warp in here with those zealots, though. That's a very nice way to try and get something to happen in his favor. Always the best thing against somebody that's going swarm host is to try and be as aggressive as possible. If you force out those swarm hosts, their locust defensively, that's the best thing that could happen to you. A big fight being taken here by Rogue, by the way. In the middle of the map, a lot of his roaches going down. But those lurkers are still standing there. The swarm hosts have shot their volley of locusts now as well. I mean, if we have observers here, maybe with the blink stalkers, with a big blink forward, we may have something happen here for ZOUN. Just needs to avoid the AoE damage from the lurkers as much as possible and target them down as quickly as possible. Doesn't quite manage to do so. Reinforcements from Rogue, just a slight couple of seconds too quick there to make things go into ZOUN's favor. More shots being taken as those lurkers still hanging out on the edge. Shooting down whatever they can. ZOUN here making a good rotation and finding himself on top of the high ground. Will be able to take a good clean fight without those lurkers' presence for a good while, but they are coming in right now. ZOUN has to try and target them down or micro away from them. So far, I'm not quite sure either of those things are being done. More zealots being warped in. Rogue taps out. He taps out. Okay.